Okay, let's talk about this video that came out by Plunder that now everybody's talking about on YouTube, and here I am talking about it too. But it's Much Ado About Nothing. What this involves was there was somebody that broke into a house that some young women lived in Pullman back in 2021. And the person had a knife, and one of the women in the house was able to successfully fend off the attack. And the case is still open. They've never arrested anybody. So when Kohberger got arrested for the murders over in Moscow, it's standard protocol for law enforcement to search through their open case files to see if anything matches a perp that's just been arrested in another case. So Brian ended up getting put on this case in Pullman as a person of interest. But they investigated further and did not see any reason to believe he was actually the perp of this crime. So let's take a look. So it's kind of hard to see here because Plunder put her label over the top, but they added Kohberger as a person of interest on January 12th, 2023. So that was after he had been arrested in the Idaho 4 case. So he was not a person of interest back when it happened in 2021. And you can see from here that Brashears over in Pullman was following up with Moscow about whether Kohberger could be related to this break-in that had happened back in 2021. And they contacted the WSU graduate programs assistant to see if it was possible that Kohberger had been in Pullman in the fall of 2021 for some sort of like prospective grad student meetings. And they received a reply back from WSU that they did not have any sort of, grad student gatherings for people that were going to be prospective, PhD students coming into the program. So there was nothing that Kohberger would have been attending in fall of 2021. It's like Much Ado About Nothing. It was protocol for them to go back through any open cases that had similar things. So like somebody breaking in with a knife into a house that women lived in. And they did their due diligence. They followed up on whether Kohberger would have been in town or not, etc. Now, I do find it a little silly that they did consider him a person of interest in that case because of the height thing. The gal who kicked the perp in Pullman said he was short, and Kohberger's 6 foot tall. And so I found that interesting that they thought he was a person of interest. But the thing is, they were doing their due diligence. And had they not done their due diligence, then you same people that are going, well, this was stupid by Pullman police would have also been saying it was stupid not to follow up. And this is still an open case too. Now, I did notice some of you, though, are trying to make this into a bigger deal than it is and trying to claim that it is exculpatory to Kohberger. Because, well, this guy that broke into the house in Pullman could be the one that did the murders in Moscow. It's not exculpatory to Kohberger because, like we just discussed, the height of the perp. Dylan didn't see a short person. Dylan saw somebody 5'10" or taller. And you still have the issue of Kohberger's DNA on the knife sheath and the car. So there's just more going into this case than you want to admit. I understand a lot of you want to believe he's innocent, and he may end up being. The jury may decide he is, but the thing is, you can't just discount everything and go, oh, this is exculpatory because this guy, somebody broke into a house in Pullman. No, it's not exculpatory. The descriptions don't match, the knife isn't the same, etc. Now, the other thing it did was it brought out some people on their high horse. One person in particular, though, was like pot calling the kettle black. And I get that people feel Plunder kind of covered that date on there with her tagline, but the thing is, you could still see the date. So it's not like she was trying to claim that Kohberger was a person of interest back at the time. She made it clear in her comment section even that she never said that. But let's take a listen to Nika.
But it's still something that we should hold these YouTubers, myself included, accountable, right? Because the fact that she's trying to hide that date tells me a lot about her. That alone tells me the type of person that she is. I recommend, personally, don't go watch these videos, guys. You're just adding fuel to the fire, and we don't want to light these people. It gets them going, right? It gets some more views and more support, even though they're lying.
Pot, meat, kettle. You're sure one to talk about lying when just a little over a week ago you were showing a Pinterest page that belonged to a guy and trying to pass it off as Dylan's, saying that that was her Pinterest page, and look at these tattoos with Odinism and knives and K-bars and blah blah blah. And then you also tried to further that lunacy that wasn't true about Jack Showalter living in the same house as the Kohbergers, and then you showed a picture of a Jack Showalter from Florida that's not the Jack Showalter from Idaho. You vet nothing before you run with it, yet you have the nerve to sit here and accuse other people of lying. Oh, and in case some of you missed it, here was her latest misinformation she was spouting. Now, she did keep saying allegedly, but the thing is, she should have looked things up first before even entertaining it on her channel.
You know what I just said? The mother was born in 1981, and Samantha was born in 1994, allegedly, right? Allegedly. These are the dates that were given to me. If you do the math, what does that mean? Okay? What does that mean? That means that this mother of Samantha was 13 years old. 14 years old, 13 and pregnant, right? 13 and pregnant. 13 and pregnant. What the fuck? Age that this woman was pregnant at. Was she truly 13 years old? Because you know what? This takes shit to a whole other level, and I'm not sure why other people are not talking about this. If this is true, boy oh boy, do I have news for you if you are a Gonsalves supporter. I'm not able to verify this information, but I've gotten a lot of messages just like this. And is this the disgusting shit that Steve Gonsalves was worried about? Some really nasty things are gonna come out, guys. Yeah, it looks like the only nasty thing that's being exposed here is you.
Okay, that was her running with some rumor that Steve's daughter Samantha's mom, Katina, was only 13 when she got pregnant, which was absolutely not true. And had she done a second of diligence, of research, she would have known that. But instead, she chose to entertain it. And then, throw in, allegedly. But the thing is, people hear those things and then they think it's true. Just like her bringing up that, several people have messaged me the same thing. You don't give credence to those things. And yet you're calling out somebody that did a FOIA request and had the records to show, true records that show that they did look at Kohberger for another case in Pullman, but you want to call that person a liar when she has actual factual information sitting in front of her, but yet you sit there and run with unvetted things and post the wrong shit about people constantly, and you're going to say that we need to watch out for them, not you. You're the one that posts all kinds of crap to get views and to get followers. Just like you always on your thumbnails choose pictures of Maddie and Kaylee in bikinis. You know what you're doing when you do that, and then you sit there and complain about men ogling women and wearing skimpy clothes and all this stuff, and yet you pick the most provocative pictures you can. You're an example of tabloid sensationalism. And so it was just hilarious to hear you calling out plunder. Absolutely hilarious. So I just had to get that off my chest because it was so hypocritical seeing her calling out plunder. And then I hope that just clears up about this Kohberger person of interest thing, because honestly it is much ado about nothing. It was just Pullman police doing their due diligence. So hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend.